Hi, welcome to my video on how to join the 501st Legion. My name is Cosplay Vicar. I've been a part of the UK Garrison, the 501st, for about 4.5 years now. It's flying by, love it, love trooping with others. And I keep being asked, how do you join? How do you join the 501st Legion? So that's what I want to share with you in a few moments now. How, my tips on how to join the 501st Legion. And there's a few things that you could do that would make your life a lot easier if you want to join the 501st. Number one, the 501st Legion is a global costuming group, which means you need to find your local garrison. In the UK, we have the UK Garrison. Find out who your garrison is. If you're struggling to find out, the best thing to do is just to go to the 501st Legion website. You can register there, you can ask around and find out who your local garrison is. But find your local garrison, get to their website, join. Once you've joined, now this is key. Once you've joined your local garrison, just sit there and watch for a little while. Don't go rushing in, I'm gonna build a costume. Just pause for a moment, read some of the threads, watch what other people have built, read other people's build threads. Now, you'll find something called a WIP, W-I-P, it's a work in progress. So once you start building a costume, you're going to be invited by an armourer to create a WIP. Your WIP is just the name of the costume that you're going to build, which movie it's from, because different Vaders from different movies, or different Stormtroopers from different movies, for example. Vader, Empire Strikes Back, Chris Rogers, that would be mine, WIP, WIP, work in progress. And that just indicates that this is a thread where you're working on something. And now that WIP is your record of you building your costume. So what you want to do is research somebody else's WIP first. Read how they built that costume. Research how they did it. Just watch. Research. The people who want to join the 501st and think they're just going to turn up and buy a costume from somewhere, put it on and join, really misunderstand the purpose of the 501st. The 501st is about being a costumer, building your costume, lovingly building your costume, the character that you want to portray, building it yourself, and then you getting to wear that at charity events. This is your costume. You can't buy something off the shelf. It doesn't work like that. It has to be for you. So find out who your local garrison is, join, and then research and read, secondly, all the WIPs, works in progress of previous builds. Learn how they did it. See the mistakes that they made. We all make mistakes when we're building costumes. It's a part of the process. But the more you can waylay, the better. It will save you money in the long run. If you go rushing into a build, it is very likely that you might buy something that's just not right. It's just not going to work. It's not going to look authentic. So find out who your local garrison is. Research and read. Don't rush on, but read the other threads. Then, at this point, you choose the character that you want to build and then set yourself a budget. And it has to be a realistic budget. So look at what other people have done in other threads. Realistic is really important because it is not a cheap hobby. This is not the kind of thing that you're going to do for a few £100s. To build an authentic costume takes resources. Now you can save yourself money by you doing more hard work. So the more hard work you do, which means you develop the skills, the less money that you will spend. So the more you can do yourself, the better. But you have to be able to do it at a quality that will really match what you see in the movies. So choose the character and set yourself a budget. It may be that you recognise that you can only afford a certain amount and that you're going to have to take time to build that costume because you are not going to be able to do it on that amount. I can spend this much on it this year. I might then do another more. So some people take a year or two to build a costume. My first build was a Stormtrooper. That was the longest build I did because I was learning how to do it as I went along. And now I'm getting a little bit quicker because I kind of know how some of these... I know how to 3D print. I know how to work with resin. I know how to work with ABS. So you start to learn who makes what as well. So choose your character and set yourself a budget. The fourth thing I would say is this: ask questions. once you've started your whip, your work in progress, you'll get given an armourer. That armourer is not a gatekeeper. It can often feel, when you're building a costume, that your armourer is a gatekeeper, that you've got to try and get past to join the 501st. That's not true at all. It certainly is how I felt with my first couple of costumes. And then I realised that no, these guys are just here to help me. And if I'm willing to work with them, then they're willing to work with me. This is going to be a much easier process. So ask questions. Like, armourers love it when you ask questions because you show interest in wanting to learn. And so ask tons of questions. Look, if you ask a question and your armourer does not respond quickly, don't panic. They may just be busy doing real life stuff, okay? I had a problem where one of my armourers just vanished for a number of weeks, and it turned out a member of his family was super poorly. You work with your armourer and they will work with you. So ask questions, and I'll say this, massive tip, do not buy anything unless you've asked your armourer, does this look like it is clearable in our garrison? There are lots of sellers on Etsy, lots of sellers on Facebook who sell products that tell you they're 501st clearable, and they're just not. It may be they're clearable in a particular garrison, but they're not clearable in your garrison. Now, my garrison, the UK Garrison, we have some of the highest levels. There are things that would clear elsewhere, they don't clear with us. Sometimes we get told that we're snobs. We're not snobs. It's just we really want to make it look like. We want people to find these characters and go, that's from the movie. That clearly is something from the movie. So my Stormtrooper armour, I don't believe you're going to get something that looks any better. Because in the 501st, we have that such high bar of clearance. So ask lots of questions and don't buy anything until you definitely know it's clearable. So that's next tip. My final tip would be this. So yes, you've got your local garrison, and that garrison is where you need to set up your work in progress, and you'll get given your armourer. And you have to document absolutely everything to show how you are working through. The more photographs you can put on your work in progress, the better. It's not just for future cosplayers who will read your thread and learn from you, but also it just shows your armourer all the work that you are doing. That's important. The other thing I would say is this. If you're on Facebook, join one of the Facebook groups for that particular costume that you are making. So my Death Trooper, there's a Facebook group for the Death Trooper builds, and that Death Trooper community is beautiful. Everybody wants to help each other. Everybody wants to support each other. Everybody wants to encourage each other to get the highest, the best quality looking Death Trooper. I'm a part of a number of these Facebook build groups. Now, that is not more important than your garrison work in progress. So you may read things in the Facebook page that would not get cleared by your garrison. You've got to be a bit careful with that. But you can ask questions and get quick responses. So when I was looking at how I was going to voice my Death Trooper, I was able to go to the Facebook group, and because I was the first in the UK Garrison as well, which meant there was no other works in progress before mine. I couldn't go and see what paints had been used elsewhere, so I could go to the Facebook group. The Facebook group was full of people who were doing the same kind of research I was doing, and you could share information with each other. So the Facebook groups are super important part of that research in progress. But you've just got to be aware that things may be said in them that are not totally true, and you have to check it out with your armourer before you might activate that or do that or think it's clearable in the garrison. So there's my 5 kind of tips or steps really in how to join the UK Garrison or the 501st Legion. Now once you've built your armour, you then go in for clearance. You can only go in for clearance once your armourer has said, yep, you're ready to clear. Your armour is looking sharp. It's spot on. Go for clearance. So then you go for clearance and you make an application through the 501st website or through your Garrison website to join the 501st. And it's then you'll get yourself your TK number or your TD number or your SL number or your TX number, whichever armour that you're building. If it's a Stormtrooper, it's a TK. and you'll get given a number, and that's your own number. That's like your registration number, and then you are known from that day on as that registration number. So I am TK41979 in the UK Garrison. It's the TK can change. So with my Death Trooper, I'm TX41979. My Darth Vader is SL Sith Lord 41979. There we go. Sorry. So that number stays the same, but the letters at the beginning change. If you're wanting to build a Stormtrooper, I definitely say head to whitearmor.com, the White Armor website. If you are wanting to just generally kind of jump in, the place to be heading is the 501st Legion. Now, there's one last thing I want to say to you, just a bit of an explanation. So every costume has a CRL. The CRL is a costuming reference library. It's a page for the costume that you're wanting to build. So Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back, has a CRL, and on it lists absolutely everything that you would need to know about that costume to clear in the 501st Legion. There's photographs, there's explanations, and it doesn't necessarily tell you how to build it, but it tells you what you need to be building. So the CRL, this costume reference library, is what you will need to check off to make sure your costume matches that library. So if you're just jumping on board, I'd say this. Type into Google, Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back, CRL. And at the top of that list will come up the CRL for Vader. You can click it and then you will see what you need to know about Darth Vader's costume. Death Trooper, CRL will get you the Death Trooper costuming reference library with photographs. So that's where you need to be heading. So I hope you found that really helpful. How to join the 501st Legion, a few tips on that. And if you have any questions about joining the 501st Legion, leave them in the chat. I would love to answer them for you. It's an incredible costuming family. People really care for each other and look out for each other. And they're a lovely bunch of people. You would love to join the 501st. So if you're thinking about it, do a bit more research, check it out. I think you'd really enjoy being a costumer with the 501st Legion. Any questions, stick them in the chat. Don't forget to share this video, subscribe and like it. It's really helpful for others who are interested in joining the 501st to see this as well. But until next time, enjoy cosplay.